Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It is Champions League game day. AC Milan versus Chelsea in the San Siro, the home of where Dennis Wise scored that also famous goal all those years ago that we still sing about today. AC Milan are looking for back-to-back home wins in the Champions League for the first time in 10 years. Can you believe that? AC Milan, a club who 15 years ago, 20 years ago, were competing in finals against Liverpool. And now they're looking for back-to-back home wins. Surely Chelsea have got to make this record go on just that little bit longer. We've got to go there tonight and get a result. If we lose, the chances of winning the group become very slim. If you win the group, you like to expect to get a slightly easier draw in the last 16. And if you come second, then well, we've only got ourselves to blame if we go and draw a Bayern or we go and draw a Real Madrid and exit the Champions League in February. So tonight, I want Chelsea to keep this in our hands. And I think a draw, as much as we should obviously be going for the win, I think a draw would probably be enough as long as we improve on the results we had against Zagreb and Salzburg in the final two games. 7 more points, I think, wins Chelsea this group. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. The group is up on the screen. Before we start going into my Chelsea starting 11 and the reasons why I've picked certain players tonight, please be sure to subscribe to the George Benson football channel if you haven't already done so. Get the bell notifications on. Tonight, I'm planning to upload the 6 things we learned straight after the game. I know that you guys have been mad that I've been quite late recently. As I've said, I've been going out to watch football a little bit more instead of just sitting in the darkness of my own room watching by myself. So, as I am 17 hours the other side of the world, I'm sure you can understand that after 2.5 years of not going to Stamford Bridge or going to an away game, watching in a pub with a bit of atmosphere has been something I've been wanting and needing to do for some time. What else is there to look at for this game today? AC Milan, Rafael Leao is the danger man. 4 goal involvements in the last 7 games in the Champions League for AC Milan. He is the man who Reece James pocketed in the game at Stamford Bridge a week ago. However, in the San Siro, Chelsea will be fighting against the atmosphere. We have got to show up better than we did in Zagreb, where it seemed as though the atmosphere probably played a part, but we weren't up to it. But in the last 4 games under Potter, we have seen gradual improvements. The game against Salzburg, no one's going to shout about it, but at least we didn't lose. Then the win against Palace, we dug deep. We had moments of individual brilliance to win us the game. AC Milan in the Champions League last week, we were very good, but AC Milan were poor. They're absolutely going to improve tonight, I'm sure of it. And then at the weekend against Wolves, loads of changes, but we were excellent. And I think what we're starting to see is Graham Potter's ideology of how he wants us to play implemented by the selections on the field, whoever that may be. Chelsea's squad is going to be rotated. We do have players who are a bit older. Thiago Silva could well make his 100th appearance in the Champions League tonight if he gets a start. I think he will get the start. Don't think he'll come off the bench. And I think Chelsea will need to field the strongest possible team for this game tonight. I think we've got to look at the way that we beat AC Milan last week. I've gone with a 3-4-3 for my formation. I think last week we dominated the game, and I think tactically Graham Potter nullified the brilliance that AC Milan can have with certain players in certain areas. They've also got the Catalari, I think that's how you say his name, the Belgian. He has also got a muscle injury, which means he's probably going to miss the game tonight. They've still got a massive injury list from before too. But Leao, Giroud, I'm still concerned. I think last week's result at the Bridge could make people a bit overconfident for this game today. But the San Siro is a totally different kettle of fish. And I think this will be a very tricky game. But we begin with the goalkeeper. And I'm very happy that Kepa is keeping his place at the moment. Obviously, Mendy, look guys, look, my hair, it goes back right now. It's getting long. Edouard Mendy hasn't really done too much wrong to lose his place. He was injured. Yes, there were a couple of questionable decisions and a couple of performances that weren't quite at the level that we would expect from Mendy. And I think it was a gradual decline from him, from what we were used to when he won the Champions League. He was phenomenal. But Kepa, at the moment, can't really lose his place. And if he does, then he's going to be running away from Stamford Bridge in January, because 2 clean sheets on the spin. He's making good saves, big saves in those games too. Distribution's looking a lot better as well. Kepa keeps his place in goal. And I'm actually very, very happy for him. He's waited for his opportunity, and now he's got it. He's grabbed it with both hands, as you'd like a goalkeeper to do on a frequent basis. The back three that we have gone with is Trevor Chalobah, Thiago Silva, and Kalidou Koulibaly. I think it was Koulibaly's best game in a Chelsea shirt against Wolves at the weekend. Thiago Silva, it's a no-brainer. The man is absolutely class. There have been comments from Graham Potter and Thiago Silva in recent days discussing whether or not Thiago Silva gets a new contract. I think, and Graham Potter said it himself, if Thiago Silva wants to play and wants to remain at Chelsea, you give him a new contract. As long as the performances between now and the end of this season don't deteriorate into the abyss, as long as Thiago Silva keeps showing even 75% of what we've seen from him so far this season, then Thiago Silva's got to stay at Chelsea Football Club. Chalobah coming in for Wesley Fofana. Luckily, the Fofana injury means he's only going to be out for 4 weeks. It's already been 1 week, so 3 more weeks left until we see Wesley Fofana back. But Trevor Chalobah is putting in a serious claim. He's putting in a serious stake here to actually keep a place in the team because he's looking solid. And Trevor Chalobah obviously wants to play and make it at Chelsea. In the summer, there were talks that he might be leaving. Inter Milan, AC Milan's rivals, were also linked to Mr. Trev. But I've got confidence in this back three. I think there's a combination of experience, legs and energy with Trevor in particular. And I've been impressed with the way that Trevor has come in and he's looked so solid. We move into a midfield four. It's like wing-backs in transition, defensive transitions. Ben Chilwell and Reece James, who are the two that I've picked in this one, going forward, they're basically like left wingers and sometimes left forwards. So Chilwell, James, and the middle, Loftus-Cheek and Mateo Kovacic. I do think maybe Jorginho comes in today. However, I think Ruben has got the legs. And last week we saw Chelsea dominated the AC Milan midfield. And when you take Ruben out and you put Jorginho in, Chelsea, I think, are inviting pressure as a result of this kind of decision. I think Kovacic looks far more comfortable and can do a lot more with the ball when he's got Ruben Loftus-Cheek next to him. And when you see my front three, we've gone dynamic again. What we've seen from Aubameyang, who is the striker, I'm going to put the whole team up on the screen now. Sterling on the left, Mount on the right with Aubameyang through the middle. Despite Broja's goal, I think Aubameyang will start this game. It is a big, big Champions League night in a big, big stadium. So even though I've got full faith that Armando Broja can do a brilliant job in this Chelsea team, Aubameyang's experience in these big games will be very necessary. Raheem Sterling was rested at the weekend. Mason Mount was brilliant in the game at home to Wolves at the weekend. So he keeps his place. But I think the key thing here for Chelsea in this game is, once again, if Reece James can keep Rafael Leao quiet, then it means he's going to get forward. If Reece James gets forward, we know we're going to create chances. And I think with Ruben in there, we've got the legs where if AC Milan do want to try and counter us, we obviously know they play with a flat four at the back the majority of the time, but with injuries, who knows? And after what happened last week, they might try and change things in this game tonight, but I highly doubt they will. They often play with the same formation. As for my score prediction, I think this is going to be tough. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as what we saw at Stamford Bridge last weekend. I do think Chelsea are going to win. My question is, where are the goals going to come from? I think we're going to win the game 2-1. And I've got a funny feeling that Kai Havertz comes off the bench in the last 15 minutes and scores Chelsea a winner. I think Leao's going to score. And I also think that our goal will come from Raheem Sterling. So Sterling and Havertz to score for Chelsea. Late winner from Kai Havertz. And if we win this game tonight, obviously Salzburg are playing against Dinamo Zagreb as well. I think Salzburg are maybe just slightly better. They haven't lost in their opening 3 games of this group. If that can be a draw and Chelsea win tonight, then the first 2 games and the panic that we kind of hit the alarm buttons on after the first 2 results will be top of the group. And it's all in our hands again with those 2 final games against Salzburg and Dinamo Zagreb to come. As for AC Milan, lots of injuries. Chelsea have got to capitalise on this one. The San Siro is never an easy place to go, but win tonight and it will go down as a famous night in Chelsea's European history. Yes, we've got 2 trophies, but when you go to a giant and you win away from home, as my wrist reminds me from Atletico Madrid away, it is always exciting. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video, my Chelsea starting 11, and your score predictions in the comments down below, and I'll see you after the game for 6 things we learned. Come on, you Blues.